everybody, Sonia Rollins for BACC Talk. I am thrilled to have Peter DaMore of DaMore Law with me. Peter, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Sonia. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you are not new to me. You're really not new to many, because if anybody drives down Cambridge Street, they see DaMore Law's building on the corner. It has been a pleasure to be working with you. Tell everybody how long you've been how long you've had the firm.
It's almost close to 25 years, and I believe that we actually met close to that time. One of the first closings I think I ever had was.
Isn't that amazing?
It was.
We were like 12.
Right. And we're still here.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. It's been great. So I'm a resident of Burlington, and I've been here for 20 years. And I've been practicing in Burlington, and I've been growing my firm since then. And it's just a great town, and I'm just happy to be a part of this community.
We're happy to have you, Peter, because honestly, I think those of us in real estate know you very well, of course, because you do a lot of closings in the real estate business. But tell everybody what the firm covers. It's not just a real estate firm.
Right. Well, obviously, we've done the real estate closings, transactions for many years. That's where I started, and I've done a lot of that. But in the past few years, we've expanded. We now have a family law division, and I have an attorney that specializes in family law, and she has paralegals and interns that work for her. We also have an estate planning division now, and we do a lot of not just your typical wills and trusts, but really the more complicated estate plans that people need today. In addition to that, we're starting to work on immigration. We have a few, 2 interns who are going to be graduating next year, and they're really interested in the immigration law, so we're started working in that area as well.
It's impressive, Peter, because when you think about it, like you said, you started in just real estate. I mean, when you envisioned becoming an attorney, did you envision this firm growing with all of these different things? Or, I mean, how does that work? When you want to be an attorney, I assume you knew that coming into it, or?
Yeah, it's just people. I started out with the real estate. We had a really solid real estate clientele, but over the years I've met people and attorneys, the attorneys that I have, and it was just a fit. I felt that they just were, people that I got along with, and we were able I just felt that they would be a good fit with our firm, and it worked out. And I'm open to obviously any type of law that I have an attorney that wants to practice in. I'm glad to support them, and when it works out, it's great for us and in the community, because we can provide a service that we weren't able to provide previously, and I think it's great for us and everyone in our town.
Yeah, I always talk about, when I talk about your firm, what's very impressive about it is that what you said, it's almost like everybody you bring in has that same mentality and thought process, that they're there to help people. And if you were to give somebody, you said something really interesting while you were talking. You said that ultimately you wanted people to feel like you could help them. You're helping the client, and you said the very important estate planning, which sometimes I think people don't really think about this, right? If you were to give people one piece of advice, what do they have to do? What's a really important piece of advice on someone who's doing an estate plan?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. And so kind of what we do, with the real estate, the estate planning goes hand in hand. If you're going to buy a house or sell a house, you need to have those documents drafted so that you're prepared for the future. So the advice I give, be educated. Make sure you speak to an attorney. Maybe get a second opinion, but know what you need to do or what you should do so that you can plan accordingly in the future. Set your expectations early so that you know what you need to do before it's too late. And that's why my advice is speak to an attorney and make sure that you're well advised, and everybody's situation's different. So, and everybody has a different situation. It's always great to be able to get that one-on-one counseling that you may need.
Yeah, what I've learned from what I do and watching what you do, really, what I learned from watching what you do, this is, by the way, for anybody watching, this is no different than how it normally works. I call Peter, he answers the questions, and now I'm doing the same thing. I'm asking you questions, you'll answer, right? So, but what I've learned in real estate estate is, it's what you said. Do it, be prepared to do it, because I think sometimes when people are selling, whether it's their family's home or something like that, there are things that were left aside that no one really meant to leave aside, but then it becomes a problem at the closing table.
Exactly. It's like, be proactive. You know, I spend a lot of my time just counseling people, whether they call me just for a quick question or some detailed information. You know, I spend a lot of time. I would call it educating. It is what I spend a lot of my time doing, and that's, I think, the most important part.
So can we talk about something educating while we're at it, is title insurance, Peter.
Yes.
I think it's one of those things, and I think it's something great that consumers could know from you directly. I think people get confused about title insurance, right? Can you talk about the importance of title insurance to people?
Absolutely. So title insurance protects you against claims on your property that are derived from the title itself. Now, the way that I compare it is to homeowners insurance. You know, homeowners insurance, you purchase that, and it will protect you against any claims on the property. You know, destruction of the property, what have you. You know, a lot of times those claims are small. Maybe it's a water leak in the basement, but you know, you want to make sure that you have that homeowner's insurance in the case your house burns down. Right. You know, if that happens, that's a major loss. Right. You pay for your homeowner's insurance yearly. Okay, with title insurance, you pay for it once. Yes. And you pay for it at the closing, and it's calculated based upon the purchase price of the property. That protects you against any claims against the property, and there's a number of different types of claims that can come up. A big one is fraud. You know, and I've seen it. And as a homeowner, you typically don't see it because you're only buying one, maybe 2, 3 houses in your lifetime. Right. But when we're closing 20, 30, 100 a month, we see these come up. And a lot of times behind the scenes, if there are situations where sellers don't have owner's title insurance, they're not going to close. They're going to be in a situation where they're going to have to either fight a claim, defend a claim, or pay a claim. With the title insurance, if you have it, it's a contract. If a claim comes up, you submit that to the title insurance. They'll defend the claim or they'll pay it. You're insured. And it's as long as you own the property. And
I love that you said something really important. It's a one-time payment, and it protects your house for the time that you own it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's worth it. You know, when I buy properties, I purchase it as well. And I'm an attorney, and I'm very knowledgeable on titles. But again, it's the things that aren't going to come up, or it could be just a situation where it was missed, whether it's a misreference in an indexing at the Registry of Deeds, because now a lot of the recordings that we do when you buy a property or you sell a property, you record those documents at the Registry of Deeds. It's all done electronically now. And it's done by third parties, meaning attorneys, paralegals. They're inputting this information. They're typing in the indexing names of the buyers and sellers. It's not uncommon to see that something is typed incorrectly. And if that happens and it's not indexed, when someone goes to run this title down the line and they don't find a lien on the property because it was misindexed, guess what? That could result in a title claim.
And that's one of those things you never know till you know.
You never know until it's too late.
Exactly, And then that's when I'm making that phone call. Help me. But it's the truth. I mean, people don't know, and it's something that is really important because you don't really hear about it until you're sitting at a closing.
And if you look at the cost versus what it costs to retain an attorney just for a couple hours to review it, it pays for itself, you know, if you have the claim. So.
Exactly. So you don't only help people in Massachusetts. Talk about how the firm has grown in other states.
So I'm a licensed attorney in Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire. We just recently opened an office in Vermont, in Killington, Vermont. And we have an attorney and 4 paralegals there. We also have an office in Alton Bay, New Hampshire, and my attorney, Jill Tainter, she travels back and forth between Massachusetts and New Hampshire. And we're looking eventually to maybe open an office on the seacoast in Maine, and so that we're more diverse. You know, in the other states, in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, we're going to focus on the real estate and some estate planning.
Perfect. So it's nice because anybody here who's maybe purchasing a second home or planning on moving there, they can utilize you on both sides.
They can utilize us on both sides because we have staff and we have support in all the states, so we can cover anywhere in any state, in northern New England.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Killington is near and dear to your heart. We're going to talk about that when we come back. We're going to go take a look at Chamber Spotlight. We'll be right back after that. Hi everybody, Sonia Rollins for BACC Talk. We are excited to do our Chamber Spotlight today at Legal Seafoods at the Burlington Mall. If you haven't been to Legals in a few years, you are going to be in for such a surprise. A renovation has been done here. Their menu continues to grow, and we're going to go inside and see some of the freshest seafood around. Join us.
So today we're going to demonstrate and cook for you a lobster mac and cheese, one of our signature dishes here. Definitely New England style cheese. It's going to be hearty and it's going to be great. Cavatappi pasta that we have, put in our rolling boil water, lightly seasoned water. 1.75 lobster meat we shuck to order. It's already here. And then over here we have the cavity that we take all the meat from, and then we're going to stuff it into the cavity and we bake it with the cheese sauce and breadcrumbs. A lot of people eat with their eyes, right? So we want to make sure that not only we're serving the freshest quality food we have, but also on the plate you want it to be a wow factor. With our nice cheese sauce, we put our lobster in. Eat right here. You want to mix it up. Make sure you're getting all the flavors and everything mixed.
Legal Seafoods, when you ordered fried food here, it's gluten-free, correct?
It's all gluten-free. So our fryer-laters are 100% gluten-free. And then the dishes that are, some of the dishes that complement the sauces that don't have gluten in it, we can definitely put that on the side or make a gluten-free sauce for you. So absolutely.
Yeah.
We get our lobster mac with the sauce with the cheese. And then we come over here and we stuff it as much as possible as we can into the cavity of our lobster.
And I always ask chefs this, what's your favorite meal here?
My favorite meal here has to be probably the lobster mac. I like to eat and I like a nice hearty meal, and you have definitely all those flavor profiles. So I would probably say the lobster mac is one of my favorite here. Or, and if I'm, not that hungry, definitely a burger. I know it's not seafood, but I'm a burger guy.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a burger, right? But it's a good thing for you to say, because I think people see Legal Seafoods, they assume only seafood, but really they can come here and get anything.
They can come get anything. Our menu, we cater to, if you come in for our classic seafood, we definitely have that. And you come in for our, hand-cut fillets and our fresh ground beef, we have that also. And then we also have a fabulous chicken dish. So, if you come in and you're not a big fan, don't hesitate. Just come in. We have everything for you.
I love it. That's great.
So take it right out of the oven. Get as much, keep in the cavity as you possibly can. So it's that, like you're saying, that wow factor. A lot of people eat with their eyes. So you want to definitely make sure. You just garnish it with a nice parsley, and then that's it. And then voila, you have it. Goes out nice and steamy, hot. Goes right to the guests.
Yeah, so we've been in Burlington since '85, so almost 40 years now.
We in Burlington have always known legal as a staple, and it's a staple for New England, it's a staple for Boston. So talk about the renovation and what that means for you.
So the renovation took a little while. It felt longer than it actually was, but it was well worth it. It was a complete gut job of the space, down to the bones. We really built it up, a bright open area. We have a private dining room that seats, up to 80 people in capacity. A very large bar with high top seating around it all the way around, and these beautiful windows that open up in the summertime.
It's interesting that you say these windows, because it mimics a lot some of your other Legal Seafoods where, you're by the seaport, for example, or something like that, and it kind of gives you that feeling of
Most
the same kind of
yeah.
restaurant.
The community of Burlington is obviously hugely important for us. We've been a staple here for a long time. We take part in a lot of donational stuff and fundraising things that we do.
I think that the nice part about Legals, too, is that it addresses two demographics here, really. It addresses the business community, which is here by day and can come in and grab a quick lunch.
Sure.
It also addresses the residential base, of course, and then everybody all around. So you have a takeout section. Yeah. So people can come and get anything on the menu on takeout?
Anything on the menu and takeout. They can get things in larger packages and heat it up at home.
There's takeout, but how about catering?
Yeah, so catering is something that we're really trying to get in front of, right?
Yes.
So it's something that we have the opportunity to be in these business offices, and we have these events at your house. If you have a birthday party, if you have graduation, you know, think of us. We have a full variety of almost all of our offerings on the regular menu.
How about private dining as far as like smaller parties that you want to do here?
So the private dining space that we have, it opens up into 3 sections, right? So you can be down as small as 10 people or as large as 80.
Legal Seafood has fresh seafood, of course.
The freshest.
Yeah.
So our fish does come from all over, right?
Yes.
So, you know, a lot of the stuff we work with Torrey Vermonti down in the seaport. So a lot of really great local fish. We work with some other partners as well. Our organic salmon is from the Isle of Skye in Scotland. So organic, it's sustainable, it's a really beautiful fish. There's no preservatives, no antibiotics ever.
All right, so in addition to new menu items, there's always classics.
Always
Talk
our
about some of the classics
for
that
sure.
Legal has.
So here we have our crab cake combo. It's one of my favorite, as well as the lobster mac and cheese. It's our lump crab cake with pan-seared scallops and shrimp, rice pilaf, and our husk salad with a little bit of mustard sauce as well.
When I eat a crab cake here, I'm always impressed because it's not very bready, it's very crabby.
It's very crabby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one is served, it has shrimp and scallops with it. Is that the
Shrimp
dish?
and scallops, yes.
Okay, so sushi. Sushi is a big thing, I think.
As we reopened Burlington, we rolled out our sushi and sake menu. So we have some great pairings with sake. We have some really great sushi, some traditional stuff, and then some more creative, inventive ideas like this. This is our tempura lobster.
And again,
sushi
Chef, the
roll.
presentation is amazing.
It's beautiful. We try our best. Yeah, thank you very much.
What is this one?
This is the caterpillar roll. So it's stuffed with eel. It's filled with eel and cucumber and topped with avocado and tobacco.
It's quite an art to have to make sushi.
It is, yeah.
We talked about allergies for gluten-free menus. Talk about someone who has a fish allergy. Are there separate places that the steak and chicken are done so that if someone
Sure.
had one?
Yeah, most definitely. We do our best to accommodate all allergies, all of our guests.
Yes.
For someone that does have a fish allergy, we can make the steak in a saute pan and do it completely separate, away from everything else. Like I said, we do our best to accommodate all of our guests.
As important as food, I think, is sometimes the drink that pairs with it, correct?
Certainly. And we've seen in the last few years, bar dining has become more and more popular across a wider age range.
Yes.
So you have people that are in their 20s, people in their 40s, people in their 60s that kind of, they enjoy the casual atmosphere at the bar. We decided to partner with Privateer Rum Distillery. They're based in Ipswich, Mass, so they're actually a local New England rum. And where we settled was on our version of a Hemingway daiquiri.
So you have a burger. We heard Chef say burger was one of his favorite things when it's outside of fish, but this burger goes above and beyond.
It does,
Yeah.
it does. Chef and I spend a lot of time together as he's doing culinary development and I'm kind of working on the beverage side. As soon as he said some fried oysters and a burger, I was sold. I thought that's going to be fantastic.
And then how about these?
The Rockefeller,
So it's a fresh shucked oyster with a spinach topping, a little bit of breadcrumb and cheese, baked in the oven and served warm.
sushi and sake have gone together for thousands of years.
Yes.
We wanted to really source something that was extremely unique. And we came across a couple of guys that are based in Brooklyn, New York, of all places. I know not the hotbed of sake in the world yet.
Yeah.
And so we partnered with them. They're called Brooklyn Cura. And they actually produce this sake for us out of Brooklyn, New York. And it's not just about making drinks, it's about hospitality, taking care of people in a timely manner, and really, catering to what their needs are.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as I did. If one thing is for sure, Legal Seafoods continues to be a staple in Burlington, and here at Simon's Property, they are so thrilled to have them in their newly renovated location. Whether you love seafood, burgers, sushi, or just want to come and sit at the bar, I hope you'll join them and enjoy it as much as I did today. For BACC Talk, I'm Sonia Rollins. All right, we're back. It's always good to go to one of our chamber members out and kind of see what they're doing there, right? It's so
Absolutely.
nice. And while we're on the subject of the chamber, before I go to Killington, because I'm going there, but while I go on the subject of that, it's kind of amazing that it's been almost 4 years now for the Taste, 3 years.
Yes.
And we're pretty excited to be highlighting all of the restaurants at the Taste of Burlington this year. October 30th, imagine, Peter, that the last one was 2019.
2019. I'm very excited. We
Yeah.
are sponsoring this year.
Yes,
I
thank
would
you.
never miss a chance to go to the taste.
It is like a meal all day long, right?
You have to prepare a couple days in advance. You know,
Right.
you want to make sure that you're ready on an empty stomach.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a great event. Great.
You do so great. You mentioned you sponsor it. You always sponsor things. We're grateful for that, by the way. You're so embedded in this community, and we'll come back to Burlington in a minute. But you're not only embedded here. You did a fundraiser when you opened up in Killington.
Yeah.
But talk about Killington a little bit, because it's got a little bit of an affinity to you, yes?
Oh yes. So
Yeah.
my boys were competitive freestyle skiers. They went to the Killington Mountain School. So
Amazing.
we have a house there, our second home. We spend a lot of time there, a lot of our free time and much of our winters. So it only made sense for me to open an office there. They have a great community up in Killington, Vermont, and they're very close. And you know, it's been a great opportunity for me, and it was something I could not turn up.
Your boys don't only like to ski. You're a skier as well.
Yes, I'm a skier as well.
So that's how they got into it, I'm going to assume.
They got into it because of me.
Yeah.
And they decided to become freestyle skiers with our mogul skiers, and in turn, so that I could spend more time with them, I ended up becoming a freestyle coach for the Killington Mountain School, and I've done that for the past 10 years.
So this isn't new to you, Peter, this like ingraining yourself not only in your business but in the community. So you became a coach there, you did a fundraiser there. What was the fundraiser for when you opened?
Yeah, so what we did and what we do whenever we engage in an event with either a business partner or just anything that we're involved in, we always try and tie in a nonprofit or a community charity. So in this case, Vermont got hit really hard with the flooding, and there was a lot of damage. So we teamed up with a couple of nonprofits, and we were able to raise $4,000 that went towards relief for those that were affected by the flooding in Vermont and the local communities around Killington.
It's really great of you. I mean, I think that sometimes, I think we all like to believe that we like to give back to the community, but there's a power there. There's a power feeling like you're giving back to a community that you do business in. And I think people who see it then feel the type of people you are.
Yeah, and that's what our office is about. And it's funny because a few years ago, I took a survey of all my employees. I wanted to get an idea of how they defined our office and what they defined our mission as. And they came back to me. I just said, give me one word that defines our office. And the top two were teamwork and community.
Isn't that awesome?
Yep, and that's what it's about. I was so proud of them and how that they recognized how I feel and how we are such a team and how we do focus as a team on community and working with the community. It's just not about the service we provide. It's about providing it to the community in a way that it's, we're productive and doing something that we can help others.
And I think you really do that, by the way. I mean, I think that a lot of people talk the talk, but do they actually do it? And I think, I'll speak for the Chamber, we're very lucky to have you as a member of the Chamber, but I think the community is lucky to have you doing that. And some of the magic of the Burlington Chamber that may not exist in some other communities, I'm not pointing names or saying anybody's bad, I'm just saying that I think some of the beauty that we have is that we have a lot of members who look to do that together.
And we're huge fans of the Burlington Chamber, and that's it, teamwork, it's about teamwork, everyone there works together for common goals, whether it's supporting one charity or nonprofit, or just building business within our local community. It's all important, and it's a great organization.
It's a great organization. Yeah. I'm going to highlight something that has stuck with me for a long time. I'm going to stop saying the C word, COVID, eventually, but I think I'm going to decide that effective end of 2023, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But I think this is like the rally of it, right? And just to show how what you're saying is true, I remember very vividly when we had to shut the office down for a while. The Chamber office had to close down for a while. It was a difficult time, and your firm said we're gonna pay. We're gonna pay because we want people. Whoever needs the money within the Chamber, meaning the employees there, we'd like to keep them going, and that was huge, Peter. So I want to thank you for that.
You're
because
welcome.
That was something that when I thought about it at the moment, I was like, God, they're such great people. And then it really is what you're talking about. It's about being committed to a community, being committed to a group, being in it for the greater good.
Right, and that's what it's about. It's about supporting each other, and whatever we can do, we try and do. And, and COVID, that was an interesting time.
Wasn't it?
We had to stay open because we were doing a lot of real estate, and people relied on us. They had to buy their houses or sell their houses. They had things to do.
Is that not amazing too? What happened during COVID with real estate?
Yeah, you remember we had to we set up a system called Park and Fly where people would drive because we had to be in business. We could not shut down. So I had everybody in the office locked in, and when we had closings, the buyers or sellers would call when they were in the parking lot. We would send an attorney out, gloves on, masks on, clipboard. Our clients would sign and go, and we did it. I don't know how, but 13 months of closing in the parking lot we got through.
Do you think this is the part I'm trying to find the glasses half full thing. First of all, it was amazing because I used to sit in a car. Those were the days when we used to go to closings, so then you didn't know what to do as a broker. So I would go in my car and wave as people would come out of your office to have things signed and go back in. But the amazing part to me is I think COVID fine-tuned a few things that we didn't realize. Do you think that's the case with closings?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're able, that forced us to be able to work remotely if needed. So I have all my staff has the ability to work remotely. So, not just COVID, but if they're not feeling great, they don't have transportation, they can work from home if needed. But also change the way that we do things with clients. We don't, especially with real estate, you don't have that full room of buyers, sellers, and realtors anymore. It's split up. Sellers will meet with their attorneys and overnight all the documents or email what they need. So it has streamlined the process, and I think for the better.
Yeah, I think, something pretty ugly actually taught us a few things.
Yeah, we learned. We were forced to learn, and we did. Some people don't like change.
No,
some people don't like technology, but you don't have a choice.
No, we really didn't have a choice. It actually brought us, if I'm going to say anything, it moved us in a direction where it is a little bit more streamlined, and you do understand. I mean, I said it the other day, the odds of having everybody in a room together for something like that is
for scheduling it's difficult. Everyone's busy, and it's hard to get everyone together at the same time. So now it does make it a lot easier in that respect.
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to close out, and I'm going to ask you one question that I always say to people. Burlington in general, talk about the power of Burlington. What you've seen 25 years ago and now, how has it changed to you?
It's changed for the better.
Yeah.
So much. Yeah. I mean, 20 years ago, we had the Burlington Mall. Now we have so many shops and restaurants. It is a destination. That's how I look at it. And when I opened my office here years ago, my thought was location, location, location. Knowing that I did real estate, I knew that I wanted to be in a position where I was close to major highways. And we have 95, we have Route 3. I'm like, this is a great location. Yes. And it just came around, and everybody apparently agreed with me.
Absolutely, and it's turned into the place.
It's the place to go. I mean, I honestly don't really leave Burlington too often. There's so much to do here. There's really no reason other than to go to Vermont.
There you go. Other than Vermont. Well, Peter DaMore, thank you for joining us. DaMore Law. Tell everybody your website. We'll put it up for them as well.
It's www.damore-law.com.
I encourage you to go. There are so many things that you guys do. We thank you for your commitment to the community, and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. For BACC Talk, I'm Sonia Rollins.